Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Let's Stay Gamers, and welcome. So today we're taking a look at some more walkers. Now, the walkers that we're going to be having a look at today are some more of Bruce Lee's designs, and I have to say, they're very functional and they work very effectively, unless they come up against something like a tree, and as we know, the trees tend to disable them very effectively indeed, so avoid the trees at all cost. As you can see, the walker is going a little bit out of control, but we'll have a look around this thing and I'll show you just how it functions. Now, the first of the walkers we're going to look at, Bruce Lee describes as a mobile-based platform, and it has everything you need on to survive within a different wasteland. And some of the interesting features that he's actually added, and quite smart indeed, is he's added these little turrets underneath the rotors at the bottom here to pick off any bugs or creatures that get underneath and could cause problems. Now, in the center there is usually a lift here, but every time I place this model in, it breaks off because the lift is extended downwards. If it was retracted upwards in the blueprint, then I don't think that would happen. So as we enter into the actual craft itself, we are confronted with this nice little hallway where we have the refinery at the back, as well as this catwalk that walks all the way around so you can observe and move around the ship as it's moving. And it is beautiful to come onto this catwalk as it's moving and have a look off the side. Up on the top, we've got ourselves some more solar cells, and then we have the upper deck where we have a small sort of scout craft, and this scout craft is pretty cool as well. We've got a little bit of a seat in here so we can have some passengers, and it is fully capable of scouting the area ahead of the walker. Just a really nice idea. So to truly understand how this thing works, we need to activate its legs, and we can activate the systems and then press 2, and you'll notice how it starts to walk. Now, there is some loud clanking noises, but it is causing no damage at all, and it is rather fast, and in some cases I think it's actually more stable than an actual car. So you can see as we're moving in this general direction, the legs are clicking. The legs actually lift up on the second part of the shaft as well, just making it look really majestic as it travels over the terrain. So let's move on to have a look at some of his smaller drones. Now, he's continued developing his smaller drones. We've seen his walkers in the past. This is the Basilisk, and the idea behind this one is a very high speed type of drone, and he's learnt through some of his previous mistakes as well. We've actually got a turret underneath now, so any walkers or bugs or different sort of creatures that get underneath the craft will now be terminated. Very nice indeed. But let's actually have a look at the pure speed and awesomeness of this walker itself. Very similar to a DARPA design that we've actually seen on YouTube. We'll walk this by pressing 1. You can see it kicks into action straight away. Just look how fast this travels across the terrain. We've got the gyroscope stabilizing it. We also can stop this by pressing 2. You see how it grinds to a halt. Press 1 again and we can activate them legs. I'm just going to show you how fast this thing truly is. I'll hop out here, activate my little legs of mine, and just look how fast that thing runs away from me. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm maximum sprint here and I can't catch that thing up. So this is a really great alternative, and in some cases it's quite a lot more stable than a standard wheel-based design. Just look how it's sprinting across the terrain. Beautiful, lovely. Look at so, walkers are just so amazing. They just catch me off guard every time when I see one. But let's have a look at the other design of his. So the final drone that I'm going to show you of Bruce's design is the Hexapod. Now, this thing works a little bit differently. It's not as fast as the previous one, but we have got some seats. We've also got a turret on the bottom to protect us from them nasty bugs and other things that can get underneath our walkers. Well, let's show you this thing in action. So by entering through the cockpit, we've got the location, we've got a basic HUD, readouts for reactors and so on. Very nice and simple. Well, let's actually get this thing walking. So if we activate number 2 and we press 3 there as well, we've actually got our legs operational, and we can actually begin to move this thing across the terrain. So the first thing you'll notice is it moves quite a lot differently than the previous walker in design. It's using a lot more joints as it's trying to propel it across the terrain. It's not as efficient as the latest build, the previous one we just actually watched, but it's still just another nice alternative drone design. This one also turns quite sharply as well, using them gyroscopes. Really nice indeed. What we've got there, we've got a stay clear of moving parts. I like the little indent area there where we've got the seats for the passengers as well. Just another nice little idea. And if you are thinking of trying to build yourself some walkers rather than cars, definitely check out some of Bruce's work on the workshop. I'll give you a link down in the description, and I will see you next time.